All right. Welcome, everybody. This reading is going to be about the uplifting energy that's currently manifesting in your life. So, gravity, anything to get comfortable, and we'll dive right into this reading. If it's your first pick a card reading, this is pile one, pile two, and pile three. So, you get to choose with the crystals. That's how you can do it. You can also read the mantras here. There's a mantra for each of the piles. Or you can pick which picture attracts you the most, or a combination of the mantra and the picture. So you do you, choose however you like to choose. I usually also can hover my hand above each pile and see if my palm tingles, then I know that I'll choose that pile typically. So if you like to do it that way, go ahead and do it that way as well. So I invite you to pause this video, to read the mantras, to look at the imagery, get in touch with also see the stones if you like them, if you're attracted to them, and then pick whatever pile you've chosen. You can go in the description box below to find the timestamp that's associated with each pile, and then you can just go ahead, skip to that exact timestamp. All right. So I'll see you at your reading. Bye bye. All right, pile one, let's start flipping those cards. I just want to read the little sentence here, the little mantra. I let go of anything and everything that could delay my good in any way. So let's dive in. I'm going to flip the first cards for you here. So all about the energy that's currently manifesting in your life. And I just don't want the cards to be cut off. So let's just rearrange that for you. All right, so we have the first card up is Master Manifester here. And so there's definitely something that you're currently, well, obviously manifesting, since that's what we're talking about. But this also reminds me of the Magician in the Tarot deck. There's this energy of magic and also of there's intentionality in what you're currently manifesting. So it's not just like whatever is currently coming to you just because. It's actually something that you've asked for, that you've prayed for, that you've visualized and tried to manifest intentionally. So that's the difference here with this card coming up in this reading right now, is that so something that you're manifesting is currently coming into fruition, or you're currently in the stages of asking for that manifestation, of making it, of visualizing it, because I see like the eyes here that are sticking out to me, and the spider kind of weaving its web. So it's all very tied to like manifestation. But the eyes were sticking out to me in the sense that you might actually currently be envisioning something, dreaming up something that is really appealing to you. So yeah, that's what I see with this card. With the next one, it's saying there's also an eye here, which is pretty funny. And I also see the hawk in that picture, which, they're very famous for their eyesight. They're very keen and sharp eyesight. So there's definitely something to do with here it says focus on the big picture. So definitely the eyes, the picture, what you're visualizing currently. I would say if you're into doing vision boards or things like that, now might be a good time to do it or to try it if it's the first time. Basically, just like you can use different software, different apps online to create your mood board. It doesn't have to be like cutting out, like little things and sticking them together on a actual physical board, because I don't know that people I think people still do that, but it's really hard to where do you get magazines and stuff? It's kind of a waste to do it that way, I think. But I mean, it still has its value, but it's much easier nowadays to just download an app on your phone and just kind of play with it and find, stock photos online. There's many platforms for stock photos like unsplash.com and things like this. If you're interested, I might just leave a comment. Moving on. So the whole thing with the eyes, I'm trying to think here. So you might have a keen eye for detail is what's coming up. But with here saying focus on the big picture, it might be asking you don't get drowned out in the details, right? Let things unfold as they will. And yeah, be open to the possibilities. Don't be maybe so rigid into how something is supposed to manifest or what it's going to look like exactly, like, because it might not manifest exactly like you wish for. Whatever you wished for might not manifest in the exact same thing that you've pictured it or wanted or whatever, right? But if we're just stuck in that kind of like box of what we want, then the true miracle, the true kind of unexpected, beautiful things would be missed. Like we would completely miss it because we're not, paying attention to the good things and what's coming to us that's abundant. It's kind of like a balance here between what you're visualizing and manifesting and versus letting things kind of like unfold as they will and being open to whatever gifts the universe wants to gift you. So, yeah, so it's asking you to like leave some of the details out if you can, and just focus on the big picture of the things coming through. So maybe currently you really want something to manifest, and while something is manifesting, maybe you're not seeing that manifestation yet, and you're wondering how come you're not, or something along those lines. I would say like take a step back and kind of like just observe what's coming to you anyway. And I think with that, you'll be able to see much more. Like you'll notice that there's a lot actually coming to you right now, even though it doesn't seem like it. So I feel like that's a big message too, that, if you open your eyes a little bit in a different way, try to spot like different things coming to you, be grateful for the little things that are appearing in your day-to-day life, even though they seem pretty mundane. Like try to notice them as well. The lighthouse here also is kind of like a guiding light, basically. I see it also as like the focal point here, the way that the light is shining. Like it's just in a narrow kind of a very narrow area, and it's like focalizing on that very specific area. But it's funny because really the card speaks about like the big picture rather than the really, really narrow specific area. So it's kind of funny that it would be that way. Yeah, so I think really the message is here like, don't, well, maybe what you're aiming for is like this narrow thing or this very specific thing. Remain open and focus on the big picture of what you're trying to manifest as well. Yeah, and it's also telling you that you're almost there. So that's a very, very positive message. Whatever is happening in your life right now that you're trying to work on or solve or, whatever it is, you're almost there. So that's a very good confirmation, a very nice confirmation to receive. Okay, let's flip the next cards for you. Okay, I'll just put it on top of these things. All right, so we have my high vibe thoughts create health in my body, peace in my mind, and love in my heart. It might be that what you're trying to manifest currently and what's coming to you is related to your health, potentially. It does also speak of peace and love, health, peace, and love. So it might be a combination of these three things that you're currently manifesting in your life. So let me think of like an example of what this could be for you. It might be as simple as like you're trying to bench like a certain amount of weight at the moment and you're almost there. It might be that you're rethinking like your diet in terms of like how high in sugar certain foods are. Yeah, so it might be also related to like foods and like if you want to eat healthier or things like that. Like when we eat high sugar foods, it does affect how our brain operates, like we get sugar spikes basically, and that kind of like will affect our mood because our gut is affected, our brain is affected, and we kind of sort of crash, right? And even more so if you have things like ADHD, for example, like those spikes in blood sugar are, not very conducive to overall, well-being. So if you do have ADHD, it would be a good idea to watch like what the glycemic index of certain foods are and try to like minimize how much of that food you eat. But I'm not gonna get into like the nitty-gritty details of that because that's not the point of this reading. Yeah, so like I said, it might be that you're trying to manifest health, peace, and love, and you're almost there. Whatever is trying to come to you, you're almost there. And here it says, I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. So it's kind of like a confirmation from like the same as this card here of almost being there. And also the lighthouse here, which is a guiding light, like we've spoken of before. And I think it's also a confirmation that you are on the right track. That things that are manifesting currently are like the right way to go if you want. You are on the right track. You know, even though even if you're aiming for very specific things, you are on the right track to get these things, but also be open to the big picture of why you're aiming for these things, you know? Yeah, and keep your thoughts positive because here it says that it's your high vibe thoughts that create what you desire, right? And it's often the case. So I think for you, it's really kind of like focusing on your positivity right now as well in order to be that master manifester in your life, you know, and create what it is that you're looking for. So it's just kind of like asking you to continue to be in your higher vibe as much as possible and work on your mindset in that way, right? When there's a negative thought, just try to redirect your mind to a more positive thought. It doesn't have to be like the world's most craziest positive thought ever. It just needs to be slightly a bit more positive than the negative one that you just had. And you kind of work yourself through those thoughts that way, right? So let's flip the next set of cards to see what else we have for you. And this is all about how to make the best of the uplifting energy coming to you. So we have life purpose here. I just want to point that out. And we have the distorted feminine. So here I see like a woman kind of like in a shell, literally, and like being nourished by this waterfall falling on her, and she's kind of like she's got her arm out reaching, and there's the sun in the background. She's kind of reaching for the sun, getting her nourishment from that spring, but she might not be nourishing herself with the proper nourishment, right? Because she's aiming for the sun, but she's still like sitting underwater here, trying to you know, get to the sun from there, right? And I think that's just pointing to your maybe the need to watch like how you nourish your mind currently, right? Again, like with the high vibe thoughts that will create what it is that you're looking for. So the more that you can, you know, nourish yourself with also a secondary message that's coming through is nourish yourself with what, you know, trust your intuition with your nourishment. It will tell you if it's like, if you're going the right way. I feel like it's almost confirming that you are going the right way for yourself right now. That whatever you're working on, working through, the choices that you have in front of you, that you're choosing, you know, that you are going the right way. And you know, you're not doing that. If that was you in the past, if you used to like not know which choice was best for you, or you know, it's kind of reminded me of like the devil energy in tarot, where we're like addicted to certain things, or you know, we like to do things in a certain way, but we're kind of blind to the effect that it has on us. And it's like you're no longer kind of partaking in those kinds of behaviors that are detrimental to us, you know, and instead you're being a bit healthier in your choices. So that could apply to anything like, you know, to do with the body, to do with the mind, or with how you're in your heart as well. They all affect each other in the first place. So yeah, I think that's what this card is trying to say right now. I think it's saying that you are having more positive thoughts, and these better high vibe thoughts are creating what it is that you want in your life, more of what you want in your life. and it's leading you to look to your life purpose, literally, to like that open heart, you know. Again, we have like, it's a bit crazy how these cards come up sometimes. They match so well. And the rays of the sun almost, but it's coming out of the heart here. Yeah. So in order to make the best of this uplifting energy, this what you're trying to manifest currently and everything, is trusting a lot that you're on the right way, because we have confirmation here that you can trust your intuition and you're headed in the right direction. And here we have that your life purpose is like you're headed towards that life purpose. You're headed in the right direction. That's another confirmation here, right? And the fact that we have two hearts for me is also, it might be that it's something to do with love, right? That it might be a situation where either you're bettering your relationships currently, right? Or you're aiming for a specific kind of relationship and you're almost there. Or it's also to do with self-love as well, because it is her heart as well, right? So I think that that might be the case, that it's speaking of self-love, right? I will now shuffle this deck for any positive mantras for your week. So anything else from Spirit for pile number 1 that can help them for their week. Okay, we have a card, so we're going to take that one. And it says, it is safe to look within. And it has a sunflower, and it's at the same spot, like as if it was a heart as well. So a lot of metaphors with the heart and the sun in your reading currently. And that's all very positive. Like the sun is the source of nourishment on earth, right? It allows for everything to bloom and flourish, right? Provided that it's in the right distance, that our atmosphere is in its right condition and everything. But, you know, we derive a lot of nourishment from the sun. So that might be a message that speaks to you. Keep heading for what brings that sense of sunshine in your life, you know, those higher vibe thoughts like we spoke of earlier. So as I move through the layers of other people's opinions and beliefs, I see within myself a magnificent being, wise and beautiful. I love what I see in me. So that's absolutely powerful. It gives me shivers just to read this. It really speaks of like the self-love. I think you're really, really manifesting perhaps like a higher way of being with yourself, like a higher self-confidence, higher self-love, like never before. And it is part of your life purpose to do so. You know, I also see kind of like the world behind, which speaks of completion. Yeah, exactly. You might be completing a cycle in your life at the moment. So you're saying kind of goodbye to the old version of you, you know, whatever that was, and you're welcoming this new version of you, this new version of self-love, this new version of confidence, this new version of trusting your intuition. So I think that's absolutely beautiful. If there's like a sentence from this paragraph that I just read to you that speaks to you, that would be like a mantra that you can keep for the week, a sentence that you can just, like an affirmation sentence that you can repeat to yourself this week. So as I move through the layers of other people's opinions and beliefs, I see within myself a magnificent being. So it's basically saying like, don't, your sense of identity might have been molded by what other people told you were capable of or not capable of, or their opinions, or what societal beliefs are, you know, thrown around us all the time. But that, you know, right now you're capable to see within yourself how beautiful you truly are, a magnificent being. So I see within myself a magnificent being, wise and beautiful. I love what I see in me. So that could be a beautiful mantra for your week to remember. So either I love what I see in me, or I see within myself a magnificent being, wise and beautiful. So pick whatever rings true to you, whatever appeals to you, and keep it for your week. So I hope this was helpful, pile number 1. Have a nice week. It's not necessarily just for your week, this reading, but the mantra could help you for this week and for, you know, the next ones as well. It doesn't have to be just for the week. Yeah, I just hope it's helpful to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So take care, pile number one. It was a pleasure. Bye bye. Hello, hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. All right, let me just start it off by reading this little affirmation sentence on this picture. You might have not chosen this pile because of it, but I'll still read it to you, okay? Life created me to be fulfilled. I now release all expectations, and I know that I am taken care of. So this is all about like having faith that the universe has your back, that things will unfold without you needing to push super hard to get to things, to get things happening for you. So it's a beautiful message of surrender, of faith. So let's dive into your reading. I'm going to flip the first two cards for you. So this is all about the uplifting energy currently manifesting for you. So from what I see right off the bat is that you have two cards here which speak a little bit of the same thing. So here it says action leads to success. And here it says attract through glow. So basically there's a surge of energy that's waiting to be released or that's coming to you currently. Sorry. And that surge of energy, either you're feeling like right now, like maybe you don't feel as energetic as you'd like to feel, or you're usually someone that has a lot of passion or energy, but currently you're going through a little bit of a lower kind of energy maybe. It might not be the case though. It might just be like a message from spirit that that you can unblock whatever is blocked currently as energetically, that action will lead to success. So just, and it doesn't need to be like a crazy action. For me, what I'm hearing from this card and as a message is like, take the first step and then the next step will just automatically kind of be taken. So as soon as you start, you'll build momentum from there. It's like it's like a car. When it's fully stopped, well, it's just fully stopped and there's nothing that can move it unless you push the pedal, right? And then it starts accelerating and then the car moves. So it's kind of similar. And then it's like, if you remove your foot from the pedal, it'll slowly decrease and stop, like the momentum will slowly stop, right? So it's kind of like telling you right now that maybe you're at a momentum where it's like decelerating or fully stopped. So I just want to repeat because my daughter is a little bit screaming in the background and I'm not sure if you heard that. So I apologize if you're hearing my daughter in the background. Yeah, so what I wanted to say is like maybe currently you're decelerating or you're stopped, either or. And it's just telling you that you need like to press the pedal just a little bit. So that first step, that first acceleration, an action will lead to your success currently, right? So to unblock that energy, to start accelerating. And one of the things also that's important to remember right now is that you attract through your glow. So what that means is that, and I see like this little bug here with the light, and its belly is lit up basically, right? And it's attracting other bugs through its glow, or humans are looking at it, marveling at it. So, and this little scarab here is attracted to this fire or the sun here. And so it's reminding me a little bit of the solar plexus chakra, of like your self-confidence. So I would say like there's something about your self-confidence currently. Maybe either you've taken a blow recently, like to your ego or something like that. Like it happens, a lot. We get triggered by things sometimes, and it happens right to the best of us. It's not a reflection of you whatsoever, but if it is affecting you at the moment, the message here is that you have that power in you, you have that shine in you, and like it's almost your duty to yourself. It is your duty to yourself to like let out that light, because through it you attract not only others to you, but like all the possibilities and whatever you're trying to manifest in your life in general. All the good comes to you from that glow, that inner glow. And yeah, so I think like it's a beautiful message and a reminder that you have all you need. You have everything that you need in you, and you're beautiful, and you should let out that beauty. You should let yourself glow. You should remember your self-worth. You should remember who you are, right? And yeah, so I think that as you act currently, just I think it just matches really well with that message of action currently. If you're in a state of deceleration, or if you're fully stopped, is like, remember your self-worth, and remember that, like, as you start to move, as you start doing these little steps and these actions, or these actions that you're taking, remember to be kind to yourself. Remember, like, not to hurt your own self-worth by, like, attacking it with your self-talk, for example, like saying things to yourself like, oh, I don't think I can do this, or you know, little things like that. I don't have another example that's coming to mind right off the bat right now, but it's like just remembering to talk kindly to yourself and to be patient with yourself as you take those steps in the right direction, because it will be the right direction. Like any small action that you take right now in the direction of your self-confidence, or taking power back, giving power back to your self-worth, is the right direction and will lead to success. So yeah, so it's a very positive message, and it's also telling you that, like, as soon as you take that step, like, that energy will come back, like that vitality, that glow that you have is definitely coming back. So that's definitely good news. And yeah, so let me flip the next set of cards that we have, and I know we have a surplus of it because a bunch wanted to come out for you guys, and I'm just gonna flip them at the moment. So I'm just going to position them like that. Okay. And this one I'll just put here. Hopefully you can see all the cards. This one is a bit cut off, so I'm just going to move them right here. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm just going to start by reading them quickly here to see what jumps out at me. Okay. So I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. So this matches so perfectly that card of self-worth that we were talking, the attract through glow. Yeah, so that's a bit self-explanatory. I love that it came out as well. So it might be like it's a general reading, so take what resonates, but it might be that certain of you will need to, or are thinking of asking for something that you want from somebody. It might be like in a career setting. It might be like in a personal situation. It could be like just asking a friend for like a favor. It could be asking a partner to listen to your needs, or that you know, have a conversation with them, or something along those lines. It could be like anything. It could be kind of like also asking yourself also what you need, and giving yourself what you need. I also see that in this card, right? So honoring your self-worth is important, and taking the time to do that, and being kind to yourself. By taking the time to do that, I also mean like being patient with yourself through the process of reconnecting to that self-confidence of yours, to that shine of yours, right? The next one is, when I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. And I'm sorry if you're hearing in the background, my daughter is just laughing, and she's with my husband right now, so they're having a blast. So it's a good sign. Maybe it means that you'll have a really fun, that the uplifting energy that's coming to you is also some fun, some laughter. So it might be a sign. So let me just reread this. When I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. So again, it really matches that action leads to success, to momentum, to the, you know, the metaphor that we used earlier about momentum. So yeah, when you move your body, just know that you'll feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. So the first step in the right direction is like a little movement. So right now you just need to shake things up, do things a little differently, is also a big message that I'm getting for you. Is if you've done something a certain way in your life and it hasn't worked, go another way. Try it differently. It could be the way you talk to yourself. It could be like, you know, as small as that. Well, it's not really small, but like it could be also as big as like a career change, right? If you've always done this certain kind of job and you've been tempted recently to try something else, and you've been looking at things and researching, and like you have an opportunity to go for it, then maybe now I would say it would actually be the chance to go for it. So that's not like necessarily a message for all of you. Again, it's a general reading, but this is what I'm getting, is that there's like this energy of trying to explore a little bit, right? That if certain actions or certain things that you've done in your routines or whatever aren't exactly giving you what you're looking for, and there's a bit of a lack of momentum in your life, shake things up by trying to do things differently. They can be very small actions to very big actions, right? They could be like, instead of drinking coffee without milk or anything in it, try drinking tea. Or, it could be anything. And I swear, like, just sometimes tweaking things, even the smallest things, just give you that sense of like difference and perspective, and you gain things from that. So I would say that's a big message for you too, to just shake things up a little bit in that way and try to go a different route than you usually go. The other cards we have here are, here it says, I claim my desires, I hold great visions, and I am ready to receive. So that's really beautiful. It's also, again, telling you like, kind of like grab what's yours in a sense, right? It's like, yeah, like kind of like a go-getter attitude almost. Like there's both. There's I claim my desires, and there's also I'm ready to receive. So I would say like there's a balance between like that you're gonna, yeah, I think that's what it's saying, is that you're gonna get that sense of balance where like you have that go-getter energy, but you also have that sense of balance where you can also rest. So there's going to be both. There's not going to be like an imbalance where either you feel tired all the time or you feel super energetic all the time. It's just going to be a beautiful balance of both, right? And so it's asking you to keep your eyes on the prize. I hold great visions here, and just know that things will just unfold perfectly. All right? That as you take those first steps, they will lead to success. So let's just continue here. So I guess you're hearing my daughter and my husband just having a blast. And I'm sorry if that's disturbing a little bit our flow here, but it's okay. Again, it might just be a sign that there's fun coming into your life. So let me just get to that card, and then I'll take a little break to go see her because she needs to have a little nap, and then we'll continue your reading, okay? So the last card we have here is I send a prayer of love to all beings in need of a miracle. So I think this is talking about like compassion, and I'm sensing like a little bit like we were talking before with the self-worth cards, is that it's self-compassion, compassion towards yourself, being kind to you as you move through whatever you're moving through, as you start taking the steps currently towards honoring your self-worth, right? As you start to regain your empowerment, as you start to cleanse and become and feel strong again, right? At that point, you need to remember to be compassionate towards yourself. To remember that things might not change like that super fast, but it's gradual, right? And that through it you can be you can show yourself compassion and grace. It's basically what I'm sensing from this. For some of you, it might just also talk about forgiveness and compassion towards another as well, right? Because it does say that, it does speak about compassion to all beings in general. But in this case, like I'm sensing a strong vibe that is compassion towards yourself. But again, it could be also compassion towards other, and both as well. Compassion towards yourself and compassion towards another. Like if this is something related to another where you need to like let your feelings be known and have a conversation with somebody, a heart-to-heart conversation with somebody, because something is not going the way you want it to go, or something's not happening, or you don't feel like you're being respected in some form or another, then it's also asking you to kind of like be compassionate. Like you don't know, you're not in somebody else's shoes, so you don't necessarily know the full truth of a situation. And even if you do, you don't need to compromise your own integrity, and you don't need to compromise on your love, on your heart, on your compassion, right? So I'm getting all these messages, right? Depending on what your situation is, and if this is speaking of something ongoing with a person, or if it's it could be any kind of situation. But what I do know and what I can see is that whatever action you can take right now as you honor your self-worth, just remember to be compassionate towards yourself and towards others, okay? And so let me just take a little break. Like I said, I'm just gonna get my daughter sleeping, and then I'll be back to continue your reading, pile number 2. Okay, see you in a bit. All right, pile number 2. So let's flip the next set of cards that we have for you. I'm just gonna put them right here. So what I'm noticing is that we have a card here that speaks about resolving conflict. And we have the keywords of love, empathy, compassion, and understanding. And those are kind of like part of the picture. They're not like actual text, but it is text inside the picture. And it's making me think of the same kind of message that we had a little earlier that we just spoke of, basically, which is this card right here, where I was telling you that it seemed like it was speaking about self-compassion and compassion towards others as well. And so this one clearly just says the word compassion here, as well as love, empathy, and understanding. So they match pretty well as well. I see 2 people in this picture. So for some of you, like I've said, it might be that the situation that this is about is actually resolving conflict with another. So that might be the case for some of you. More so, I'm getting the sense that this is all about kind of like amplifying your own capabilities for empathy, for understanding, for compassion, and elevating your capacity to love and attract the people that match this type of energy. Yeah, so I think like you're up leveling your love here, and probably resolving maybe past issues or certain things pertaining to, compassion, understanding, empathy, love, this kind of overall theme here. And I think as you demonstrate to yourself that you're capable of giving these feelings to yourself, so these kinds of emotion, this kind of emotional kindness to yourself, right? As you begin to demonstrate that to yourself, you'll also be able to give it to others, but also very much receive it from others, right? So it's asking for self-empathy, it's asking for self-compassion, it's asking for self-love and self-understanding. So as you work through, on that accelerator, starting to move, remember to really be kind to yourself, to really tap into these emotional states here of empathy, compassion, and understanding. So that's a big message here, because I think it'll feed into like your life in general, right? Not just this uplifting energy currently that's manifesting. It's also like something that will pay off in the long run for you. So definitely it's a big moment, I would say, for you to really reclaim that love within you, that shine within you, that that light that you have, and honor your self-worth basically through demonstrating these feelings for yourself, basically resolving inner conflicts potentially, right? And here I see the next card is the Silver Waterfall, and it's a beautiful card. There's like, it's a tropical setting, there's a swan, butterflies, parrots, and like some gems, and like this woman, and like the waterfall just falling on her, and she seems like super content and everything, and a rainbow. And this card, like, obviously it's a great vibe, and water is like purification. It's also abundance. It helps life. We're made up of water. Our cells are made up of water. So that speaks of like your revitalization. So what's currently manifesting for you is literally this uplifting energy, this revitalizing of yourself, this surge of energy. So again, it's like this glow literally is kind of like what this card is talking about. This life energy, this glow is coming back. Since she's alone also in that picture, she's like happy. She's happy by herself, deriving all that goodness, that nourishment coming to her. She's able to enjoy and receive all that goodness right? She doesn't need anything else. She's actually naked in the picture. And that's really like, it's a reflection of self-worth right here. I'm getting the strong message again that she can stand on her own and she can receive what she desires. Yeah, and oh my God, I just see that card here that it's literally saying, I am ready to receive. It says, I claim my desires. I hold great visions. I am ready to receive. So it's, and the colors of like that feather right here, it's absolutely beautiful. It's like coming from that bird right here. It kind of like mirrors each other as well. And yeah, those cards are really like fitting together. It's nuts. And yeah, so that the big message I got really was like, I think you're gonna really reconnect with your self-worth. You're gonna really give yourself what you need in order to resolve whatever is ongoing right now in your life that's preventing you, like all the little you know, fears and limiting beliefs. I see them kind of like just melting away because of like you, your resolve to connect back to your light, to your glow. I hope you know how beautiful you are inside and out, and that, you know, you deserve to shine. Others deserve to see you shine as well. This is, you know, a big step, I feel like, for you in terms of like reclaiming your sense of direction and your sense of choice and inner power. I feel like this is very strongly what's coming back to you, or what's coming. So there you have it, pile number 2. Oh, before I forget, I'm just gonna take another deck here. So I'm gonna shuffle this deck for any positive mantra for your week. So a positive affirmation, a sentence that can help you for this week and the next as well. So the next ones. Oh, wow, there's already one that's coming out. Okay. All right, let's see. It says, my work is deeply fulfilling. Today I give my best to that which I do, knowing that when one experience is complete, I am led to even more fulfilling and rewarding experiences. So I feel like this really matches your reading. It might even give us further clues to what you're dealing with, what you're going through right now. So I feel like it's telling you almost like, you know, whatever didn't work in the past, kind of like what we spoke of earlier, like if you've explored a way and it kind of didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out, or, you know, you're dissatisfied, and basically trying different things, so shaking up your routine and stuff like that. So it really speaks about like finding that fulfillment for yourself, like, and not just finding it, because I feel like finding fulfillment is not necessarily like the right like words to use. It's more like almost embodying fulfillment, right? Because like that's really the work. It's an inner work. It's not finding something outside of ourselves, it's finding something inside of ourselves. Because like if you keep searching for that fulfillment outside and you're like miserable inside, like it'll never match up, right? If you are in integrity with your self-worth, if you respect yourself, if you understand yourself, if you're kind with yourself, you know, then it'll be a lot easier to stand in your own light and to kind of welcome life as it comes to you and be open to it. So it speaks of that, but it's not just about that. It says, today I give my best to that which I do. Yeah, so it's diving in with an open heart, knowing that when one experience is complete, so when something, you've done that, you've been there, done that, okay, I can move on. I am led to even more fulfilling and rewarding experiences. So it's just kind of like nudging you forward. It's saying like, it's okay to let go of certain things that didn't work out and just start anew. It's okay to shake things up and try different things to see if something else could be better even, right? So there's many different facets of this card, but I think we've kind of like touched on everything. I feel more so like it's a nudge from spirit, just saying like you're on the right track, and this energy, like as you take that that first step, really, your fulfilling and rewarding experiences will start to manifest, will start to appear. So this is really what I get from this card. You have beautiful cards, a beautiful message from Spirit, pile number 2. I hope that was useful to you. Let me know in the comments what ends up happening with you, and as you reclaim your inner power, how things are currently appearing in your life, what has changed, the type of relationships even that you're attracting. Pile number 2, I just wanted to add a little message that's coming to me as well, that I'm seeing with this card here, is that it's saying also, don't be afraid to not switch your opinion, but see like from a different perspective. It's also saying like, don't be afraid to see things differently. Whether it's with whether it's like how you're viewing another person or how you're viewing yourself. Take care, pile number 2. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon for another reading. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be about the uplifting energy that's currently manifesting for you in your life. So let's go ahead and flip the cards that we have for you. So first 2 cards up, we have this card of Tame and Attain and the card of Destiny Path. So before we actually dive into the cards, I just want to read that little mantra that we have on your image here. It says, I have the ideal neighbors. They are warm-hearted and supportive. So I think it's not just talking about necessarily like your neighbors. It could be also, you know, the connections that you have, the friendships that you have, coworkers even. So it's really talking about support. That basically the message I get from this is that you have the support that you need, even if sometimes it's hard to perceive. So just know that it's there for you. The support will come when you need it. So let's dive in to the cards that we have. So what I find also funny is this card here is very, very similar to the colors of this image here. So the coloring is very similar, which is kind of funny. I hope you can see it too. But anyway, so I think what it could mean potentially is that you have a very kind of like colorful personality. You might be artistic. You might be very creative. I'm also sensing here, obviously with the horse and everything, that you have a lot of energy. And here it's specifically saying tame and attain. So the horse is a wild animal, is a wild being. It evokes freedom, right? One of the main things that, and horsepower, I would say as well. So power and freedom are 2 of the main drivers or the main definitions of like the animal totem of horse, I would say. What it's telling me currently, you have a lot, you're somebody that has a lot of energy, like, and you work hard, and you're a bit of a free spirit where, like, again, with that colorful thing, you might be somebody that can stand out from the crowd, whether you want to or not, right? Whether you're trying to or not is a better way of saying this. So I'm sensing a bit of that going on, I guess personality-wise, you could say. But I think the important message here is that your energy can sometimes, while it is your best, like one of your best attributes, like how much energy you can dispense in a thing, it's also, it can be a backdraw when that energy doesn't know where to go. So when the energy needs a release, for example, and it doesn't, like, you know, sometimes it can mean that we are on like a cycle of repetition in our minds. So that can reflect in like anxiety patterns, for example, for somebody that has that much energy, right? The mind can, like, if it's not occupied with something, can often spin, right? So it has that bit of like a downside to it, where for you it might be right now the opportunity that you might have is to actually learn to really care for your energy, and to really channel it properly, and to, you know, release it when it needs to be released, and channel it properly, like I said earlier. So I think that that's really the message here, is like, with all that energy that you have and all that power, is learning to channel that power, basically. And we have the card of Destiny Path, which is like, and the best card you can get out of this deck, definitely, is like a confirmation that you are on your path of destiny. You are on your right path. That as you master your power, your inner power, as you master your energy, and then when you master your energy, when you're able then to direct it, right? You're able to kind of like take all that powerhouse and then just kind of like direct it into something that matters to you. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of power beneath the surface here, and learning to tame and attain is definitely, the right direction here for you. It's definitely leading you on your path of success, on your path of destiny. So that's what I'm seeing right off the bat with these two cards coming together. So we're gonna flip the next set of cards that we have to add a bit more here. All right, so let's see. We have this one. I'm just gonna put it here. Here, I just don't want to block the rest of the cards too much, but we'll just go with it. Hopefully you can see the cards still. I'm just gonna check. So the first card that flipped afterwards is, when I move my body, I feel empowered, cleansed, and strong. So it's funny because that's right. Two of the cards here came out for another pile as well. But in your reading, it looks like it might want to say different things. Yes, so again, with the energy here of like movement, and it's asking you probably to, like, if you have pent up energy that you notice is detrimental to you. So if, for example, I don't know, you're sitting at home and you're bored, right? And you start kind of like feeling down and like your mind is racing or is just thinking negative thoughts. It doesn't necessarily need to be racing, but let's say it's just like starting to get a little negative and things like that. Move your body. It's a sign that your body has pent up energy that your body needs to release, right? That, you can dance, you can do whatever, you can go for a jog, you can go for a walk, whatever you need to do, even exercise, like whatever, right? Just try to do something where your body is moving. And that will help you. That will help you unearth a sense of calm and have more clarity in your life and not be muddled. Like, because like all that power, like if it's kind of on overdrive and isn't properly channeled, then you will a little bit lack clarity, right? Because it'll be muddled by all that kind of like go-getter, all that energy, So you need to like learn to really move your body and in different ways as well to kind of feel calmer and to kind of feel like you've spent the amount of energy that you need to spend in a day in order for you to feel calm enough, clear enough. So that's something that you might have to learn for yourself. Maybe you have learned that. Maybe you already know that about yourself, right? And maybe the cards are just saying that this is coming back to you. This is part of like what will be coming back to you right now. What you're currently manifesting is that reconnection with that energetic part of you and reclaiming that sense of calmness and giving yourself the proper channeling for all that energy. So it is what's coming to you currently. So I just want to make that clear that this is what the cards are telling me. And then the next set of cards is, I am willing to see my sameness with others. This opens my awareness to oneness. So I'm sensing here that maybe you're somebody, like we said, you're very colorful, and maybe you feel that with all that energy that you have and how you are in general, maybe you feel a bit different from others. Maybe, something along those lines I'm sensing. And it's telling you that, that you're not different, that you're part of the whole. Like that card is giving me the image of like a circle, the way that the flowers are all around this quote. And here the destiny path is also like a circle, because a circle is a symbol of wholeness, basically. It's kind of like the what you want to reach at the end of the day, in terms of like psychology, if you want. A lot of psychology speaks about, like mandalas, or all of these things are in the shape of a circle. And in psychology, it's called integration. So that means like you've basically you've become whole, right? Not that you're not whole, but that's like the psychology of the person has become fully integrated, like you've accepted yourself on all levels, kind of thing. I feel like this card is talking about that as well. It's talking about like that feeling of wholeness and that feeling of connection, both. So both feeling whole within yourself and feeling connected to others. So I think that's a big theme in your life in general. And Spirit is just coming through and saying, like, you are connected and you are whole and you are on your way to like feeling that sense of like fully accepting yourself as you are and fully shining as you are and fully kind of being on that destiny path of yours. And then the next card that we have is I honor my self-worth by asking for what I want. So it's speaking about self-worth, obviously, here as well. So it's kind of like knowing that, as we've said, that you are supported, connected, that you do have that you are united with others, that you are not separate from others. So I'm getting that message again also from this card and a little bit from our primary card that we had, where it speaks about support. Basically, the message might also be that you to be able to ask for support when you do need it. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to others. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you do need help with certain things. That might be the message here that wants to come through as well. And also loving yourself, right? Loving yourself through that powerhouse of energy that you have. And as you kind of learn to channel it properly, because I prefer to use the word channel than tame. I think like having that inherent like freedom, and I think the horse is like a beautiful animal spirit, and the symbolism of like freedom is such a beautiful symbol that to tame it seems a bit crazy, but like in the context of this, right, it makes sense. Like you want to channel it, not necessarily like reduce your colors, right, but be able to make use of all those colors that you have. Is like as you learn to really care for your energy and really channel it, then your colors will bloom even more. Like you'll be able to really enjoy yourself. You'll be honoring your self-worth, because I get the feeling that maybe either you're not aware of the sort of inner power that you have, or you are, but you just maybe feel like it, you shoot yourself in the foot more than you'd like to, right? So I don't know. Take what resonates here. I also noticed that like the colors match as well here, and they're not from the same deck. So you have like this multitude of colors, and it might be that you're also multifaceted. Is something else that's coming to me. Let's move on to this one. It says, my happiness is a direct reflection of how quickly I can shift my perceptions from fear to love. Yeah, so it might be like, again, I'm getting that sense where you're like differentiating yourself from others. You're like putting yourself like in a box when you're so full of colors, so full of talent, so full of like different facets. And maybe you're afraid of judgment, of others, but you shouldn't be, in the sense that you need to shift your perception from that image, or that what you perceive others see you as, right? That's just kind of like what we tell ourselves, and limiting beliefs. And even if people are judging you, or you know that for a fact for some reason, this is not a reflection of you, this is a reflection of them. And the more you see yourself truly as you are, the more you acknowledge the power that you have, the more you give yourself the chance to channel your creativity, to channel that power properly, to give yourself movement, the more it'll be clear to you, like how to move from fear to love in your day-to-day life. So that's a big message to condense in such a, in like a sentence or, so but I hope that it's helpful. I hope that you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. Moving from fear to love is like such a big learning path, and it's something that most of us like we tackle as we go through life. It's not like, I don't believe that it's a one-time thing. Yes, for certain fears we move through them, and then once they're in the rear view mirror, they're in the rear view mirror. But a lot of the time, if we fall off the wagon for whatever reason or whatever happens in our lives, sometimes we revisit some of those things. They come back up or they creep back up. It's basically kind of learning how to really learn to be so in touch with yourself at a certain point that, like, even if you revert back to certain fears, the path, like the process to go from fear to love, and you get through it a lot quicker than you used to. So I hope that was like a little helpful as I explained a little more. All right, let's see the next set of cards that we have for you, pile 3, and add a bit more to this, okay? So I'm just gonna put them as they come up. Maybe I'll just go one by one, or should I put them all? I'm undecided here. I'm just gonna put them all. I just don't like how I'm blocking all the cards because I feel like they're so beautiful. And it might be like literally like a message of how you feel currently, like that you're blocking your light, your own light, and like with your perception of yourself potentially, and that you need to be like more empathetic towards yourself and let yourself shine more. So accept yourself as you are as well. Okay, so let's just gonna put them here. And wow, what I notice immediately is right here. Let me just show you quickly. We have 3 horses in your reading. And that is absolutely insane. Like literally 3 horses in all these decks. It speaks of emotional freedom here. And obviously it's like a winged horse. It's like a Pegasus or something like that. But it's a similar vibe a little bit. But what's coming out for me, what I've noticed right away in this card is here this there's little snowflakes, but this one is different. Well, some of the others are different, but this one is really sticking out to me, and it looks like it's a compass actually, and not a snowflake. And it speaks of directionality again. We have the destiny path, we have the direction, the compass, we have the horses that speak of freedom, right? That represent freedom. So I think that the message is to let yourself fly with all your colors, right? And that the right path for you, the destiny path for you, is the path of having that emotional freedom, okay, within yourself. Okay, so whatever feels good to you on the inside is the right path. That's how you know you're on the right track. So if something is like not feeling good to you, if the way you talk to yourself is not feeling good to you, if a situation doesn't feel good to you, then like you have to visit yourself internally and like ask yourself some questions, right? Or just bring more awareness to the fact that you can change that, or you can take a different route that will give you more freedom, more of that emotional freedom. I want to add that word because it's like inner work. It's more on the inner planes. We have that message here that's coming through. Here with the chivalry card, I don't think it's talking about another person, even though we have the card of sexual freedom. Again, the word freedom. Wow. But I don't necessarily think it's talking about sexual freedom, although it might for some of you. But what I notice right away is like the union of these 2 people. I think it's talking more about union here. And, we had that card of oneness here, being connected to others. And I feel like this is kind of like saying the same thing here. Because I see like also the destiny path and this card, they kind of look different on the surface, but they're kind of laid out exactly the same. Like here we have 2 bees in a circle, in that circle. Here we have two doves in that circle. Within that circle, there's another circle, just like here. There's the union of two, here they're serpents, here they're humans. There's a lot of similarities in how, and the vibe that I'm getting from both of them, even though they seemingly look a bit different, they're very similar. So again, I think it's telling you like the right path is a path of freedom for you, the path of union, the merging of two different things. And for you, I feel like it might mean that it's the path of like merging the tame and the untamed part of you. Meaning that really, as you learn to channel your power, it could be like creative power, it could be any sort of power that you have. And I see that you might have more than one because of all the colors, right? So as you learn to channel just your energy overall, then you'll be able to merge with that wild freedom of yours, right? You'll be able to like live more in congruence, more in agreement with that freedom, that inherent freedom that wants to bubble up. As you give yourself more room to care for your energy, in the sense that when you notice yourself going through a spiral, a bit of a spiral, it's like bringing yourself back to like a state of calm. So learning how to calm yourself basically is the main thing. And one of the main ways that you can do that is through movement, moving your body. It's also through potentially cleansing the old, right? So releasing stuff from your past as much as you can, releasing old habits that don't serve you, old mindset that don't serve you is another way to do that. But definitely like movement is a big key. Once you incorporate more movement from there, like within that state of calmness, a lot of answers are revealed to you. Because usually when we're kind of in a spiral, or we're overthinking, or that energy doesn't have a proper channel, then it's very hard to see clearly. It's kind of like if you look at a lake, right? If you shake all the sand underneath the water, it'll become all muddied, right? And then you can't see. But if that sand is not shaken, the water is clearer, right? So it's kind of like this, a similar thing for you as a metaphor. So as you see more clearly, you'll know what the next steps are. You'll know what your direction is. And then that direction is also confirmed because you feel free when you're taking those steps. You feel freer. Free to express yourself, free to be yourself, free to love yourself. So there's all of these facets here. And there's also the card of chivalry here, which I don't think it speaks of another person being chivalrous towards you. I think it's more you being chivalrous towards yourself, being kind to yourself, right? So this is kind of you accepting that you have this gift of energy, this gift of power that you have, and learning to channel it, learning to honor yourself. So honoring that self-worth, that was that card here. I think now things are coming together a bit more clearly. So honoring that self-worth within you, and being nice to yourself with all the roses here that we see, kind of like gifting yourself that, you know, you're literally giving yourself a gift by caring for your energy, you know, and you're learning to be you, fully you. I can see like the rays of like the sun in the background here, and there's a lot of colors as well. The eagle is a symbol of like also keen eyesight and flying above adversity as well, and victory. So there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of animal symbolism in your specific reading as well, definitely. So you might be somebody that's connected to animals in some form or another, and that's why they're coming through here, through your reading. Something else that's coming through is that I see that Pegasus, that horse, running in this direction, but I see here the owl and the rabbit kind of facing the other way. I think it's kind of saying also the same thing, where it's like the owl represents intuition. And the horse here is representing freedom. It's telling you like if it's got free reign completely, it might go off in the wrong direction if you want, or in a direction that ultimately won't be the path of destiny or the best path for you. And I don't really believe in wrong paths, because like you still end up learning things, but it might not be the path that you ultimately want to be on for yourself. And what it's just telling you is like, as you learn to really honor your energy, as you learn to tame that part of you by channeling it properly, then it'll go in the same direction as your intuition. Then your intuition and your sense of freedom will merge together and lead you towards your destiny path. Because now I feel like you might be going on different routes, right? Or you're still learning to really utilize your intuition, and you will learn that. So it's a beautiful message. It's a big message. So let me get another card deck here for you. All right, pile 3. So let's shuffle this deck to get a positive mantra, something for your week, an affirmation, a sentence to help you for this week, for the next weeks. Here. All right, we have one already. I'm just going to put this behind. All right, so this card says, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. So I think that's beautiful that that's coming up in your reading. Literally learning to channel that energy, learning to tame your mind. So that might have all been a metaphor for your mind, for your mindset, for the perceptions that you have, for the perspectives that you hold. Don't be afraid to change your mind. Don't be afraid to see yourself differently, to see the world differently. Yeah. And let's read what it says. I am not limited by any past thinking. I choose my thoughts with care. I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. I am willing to change and grow. This is literally what we've been speaking about. Definitely don't be afraid. Your reading is a lot about channeling energy and mindset and being open to a different perspective of yourself, of how others view you, of others as well, a different perception of your past even. And yeah, don't limit yourself to what you think yourself to be by any past limiting beliefs or thinking. Yeah, literally the way to start really connecting with that mindset, with that caring energy for yourself, one of the keys is really through movement. Do let me know if you have some movement in your life right now, like activities that you do that incorporate movements, or if it's something that you're willing to try for yourself currently, or that you've been thinking of trying. I would be really curious to see like how that will help kind of unlock that destiny path for you, unlock your self-worth. So I'd be really curious. So do let me know in the comments below. And so for like a mantra or a sentence that you can repeat to yourself, it could just be, I am not limited by any past thinking. It could be something like, I am not my thoughts, right? And just repeat that sentence to yourself. Remember it. It could be, the next sentence could be, I choose my thoughts with care. It could be anything. Like the rest is, I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. So I constantly have new ways of looking at my world. And then the other one is, I am willing to change and grow. So pick like a sentence that resonates with you, that you can tell yourself as you move through this newness that's coming to you, this new way of being. And this is literally like your destiny path. Look, to go through this and to come out victorious, to incorporate all these colors that you hold within you, all that energy is meant to shine, and you're meant to do things with it. So yeah, so I hope that that reading was helpful to you, pile number 3. I hope to hear from you in the comments, And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And take care. See you at my next reading. Bye bye.